Hello and welcome to my Q&A video. I'm doing this as my 100 subscriber milestone. So thank you all for subscribing, I really appreciate it. And thank you to all of you who left questions. So let's get right to them. First of all, from Ross Glennie, who's better, Dave or Ross? Well, I presume you mean Dave the TV channel or Ross Geller from Friends. And in that case, Ross is definitely the best because, I mean, who doesn't like dinosaurs? Second question from the Geordie Lad 3. Why don't you bring Mitch back? This is actually Mitch who's asking the question from my Slender with Mitch video. And well, I believe you promised my subscribers that you'd be starting up your own channel, but that hasn't happened yet, so that's not good. And as soon as you start a channel, I'm sure we can do a co-op series, which is actually a good time for me to do some advertising here, because I'm going to be getting a lot more co-op series up for you guys as I'm off of sixth form this week, and I'll be using my time to film some nice content for you guys, so I hope you like that. Okay, moving on, from Shadow5273, I've got 3 questions from him. Number 1, what type of games do you like? For example, RTS, FPS and so on. RTS I love, although I am terrible at them. One of the first memories I have with games is on my dad's old computer, playing Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. And I think we owned most of the Command & Conquers from there through to General's 0 Hour, I believe it was called. And I love them. Of course I was terrible at them, but I played them to death. There's something really good about the whole being in control of your own base and building it up the way you like and building your units and managing them. Something I like about that, a nice sense of achievement on building it the way you want, not the way a linear game would script. So I do really like the RTS genre. FPS I used to be a massive fan. I think Modern Warfare 2 I played 10 days if not more the multiplayer, and that's a lot for me. I don't play like large amounts of games. But to be honest, I've been going off them more and more. I don't know if it's to do with me growing up or just having too much exposure to the genre. But I've hardly played Battlefield 3, Modern Warfare 3, not that hyped about Black Ops 2 or anything. So not so much FPS. I think really my favourite genre is RPG. I mean, Skyrim, Oblivion, I can't even think of many off the top of my head, which is terrible, but all RPG games I love. Again, it's the same thing as RTS, doing it the way you want to, leveling up and perking into what you think you should do, and the whole sandbox open world idea on games is something I love. Adventure games, again, ones I really like, free roaming, something where I get to do it my way as opposed to a linear way. I hope that kind of answers that question. Number 2, out of all the mods in Tekkit, what ones do you like the best? I personally like using EE. Well, I also like EE, of course, it makes things a lot easier. I don't know what I would do without an energy condenser. But sometimes I feel it can be a bit overpowered, like the Power Flower setups. A bit overpowered, I find sometimes. If I'm honest, my favourites would be Industrial Craft and Red Power. Industrial Craft because there's just something about sorting with pipes and having things flowing around and all automated. It just feels really good to be able to set up a system and see it work. And Red Power because the sorting machine, again, same thing about setting up your own system and getting it all working and neat. But also because I don't know a lot about Red Power and I'm finding out new things all the time, which makes it very interesting for me to play. Number 3, what mods besides Tekkit mods do you like? I personally like better dungeons and battle towers, so it's easier to get loot to start Tekkit with. Well, if I'm honest, I don't play with many mods, because I don't play a lot of other games at the moment in Minecraft. Vanilla I play a bit when the new updates are released, just to see what they're like. But I generally play Tekkit or creative mods, I guess, Voxel Sniper, World Edit, things like that. One thing, well, it's kind of a Tekkit mod, but I also use it in vanilla, is the Minimap mod, because I think that's just a fantastic add-on. Doesn't change the game, but it's really useful. To be honest, I think that should be in vanilla Minecraft. I think that's brilliant. Thank you for the questions. Next I have 3 from the Durza44. Number 1. What are your thoughts on the current console generation lag in moving forward? I think it's supposed to say in moving forward, I think that's a typo. If I'm perfectly honest, I don't have much thoughts on them. Well, apart from maybe the Xbox 360, because I think that could move forward in advance, and that's partly the reason that it's selling so brilliantly, is because it's quite simple. So the games are quick and cheap to make, so generators, that's not right, getting into tech stuff there, developers find the 360 to be the best platform for their games, simply because it's cheaper and quicker to make. Whereas I think PCs, and also PS3s in particular, have a lot of power that hasn't been exploited generally by the games industry, simply because to keep up with the 360 standard of release dates, they don't have enough time to build really in-depth games. So I don't really think it necessarily needs to have a new generation right at the moment. So I'm not too bothered about that, if I'm honest. Number 2, what do you think of the new indie console, the Ouya? I think that's how you pronounce it. If any of you haven't heard about that, check it out on Kickstarter.com. I think that's the website. It's basically a console for TV, because TV is sort of losing some of its gaming market very much to PC and to handheld gaming, like on the iPhone. And it uses Android operating system, I think that's the right word, to make it very easy for developers to make new games, so it's a very indie-friendly console. And I think it's a brilliant idea. Indie games are some of the best games out there, and there's nothing more fun than just buying a game you've never heard of and having a great time with it. So I think it's a great idea, and I really support it. I hope it succeeds. Number 3, what is your favourite game ever and your least favourite game ever? Well, my favourite game ever, that's a tough one. It has to be between 2 games, and they're both up there for the same reason. The first is Shadow of Colossus for the PS2, not the HD remake, and you'll understand why I say that in a minute. Shadow of the Colossus is a game where you run around the map and have to fight, I think it's 12 bosses. The bosses are 100 times your size, if not more, and you have to sort of climb your way up these colossal beings to find their weak spots and kill them. And the other one is Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion for the PS3. I'm sure I don't need to explain what Oblivion is. It's the prequel, is that the right word, to Skyrim? And I loved that game. I played it for God only knows how many hours. I played Skyrim for 100 hours, and I played Oblivion a lot more than I played Skyrim. I did absolutely everything in that game. I didn't do Shivering Isles DLC for some reason, but I did the other one, and I was even invincible because my magic was so strong and my enchantments I couldn't let me take damage by the end of it. And the reason that these 2 games are my favourite is the surprise factor. Shadow of the Colossus is the only game I've ever seen in that format, and I had no idea what it would be like, and I loved it. Oblivion, the first ever official PlayStation magazine I bought, had an advert for this game that had a cool looking knight on the back, and I had a bit of spare money, so I thought, why not, let's give that a shot. Bought it, and it happened to be called Oblivion, and it happened to be fantastic. And it was the fact that I had no idea what it was, so I had such low expectations, and they were met and surpassed by so much that made that game brilliant. Skyrim's a better game than Oblivion, but because I'd played Oblivion and hyped up Skyrim so much in my mind, when it was that amazing, it just seemed that that's what it should be, that's just normal. Whereas Oblivion, when I thought, oh, it's just a game, it's probably not going to be that great, and it turned out to be fantastic, it seemed fantastic. And that's why those are my favourite games. Least favourite game ever? Ooh, that's a tough one. The only one I can think on the top of my head is Naughty Bear. because that game had such potential. GTA with teddy bears. They could have done so much with that, and it was just a terrible game, if I'm quite honest. So yeah, that's the least favourite game I can think of on the top of my head. That's a good question though. I want you guys to leave comments, tell me what your favourite and least favourite game ever is. Let me know down below and I'll have a look and see what you think, see if you've got some better ideas than me. Next question from Jess Sucks at Gaming. Will you have intercourse with me, Steve? I love you. I'm kidding. Or am I? Oh, well, yes, Jess, I definitely would like that. Yes. If any of you are wondering, Jess is someone I know in real life. So don't worry, this isn't anything creepy stalkerish. We're mates, it's cool. And final question from 222 Kane. How's life? Great question to end on. Life's pretty good at the minute, I think. Well, the channel's life's brilliant, hitting us 100 subscribers. I think we're actually at around 115. We're growing really quickly, and I'm so happy with you guys. I'm gonna be filming some more content. I think a bit of Civ 5 with one of my friends because I really like that game, but I haven't actually played it too much, so that should be fun. My good friend Carl from Graded A Productions. I'm going to be doing a couple series with him, a bit of Payday the Heist, which is actually, well, I don't know if it's still the game you can see right now. It's hopefully going to be one of the games you see in the background, depending on how long I've rambled on for. We're also going to be doing a bit of Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 on the PS3, because, well, as I said earlier, I love the Command & Conquer series, so why not? And of course we'll be getting Tekkit all the way through, because Tekkit's brilliant, and why not? And maybe also some Team Fortress if I have the time. So I hope that's answered all the questions that you guys left in a half decent way at least. If you leave more questions or anything, I might make some more videos like this depending on how many questions I get. But basically this is just a thank you for subscribing and supporting me, and as always, let me know what you want to see, because I don't know what you want to see, guys. I try and pick some good stuff, but I really need you to let me know, and I'm happy to do any requests. And if I do something that you don't like, it's even more important that you let me know, because how else am I going to know to improve it or even cancel it altogether? But yeah, you guys are brilliant, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.